Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another video. This time, Crusadia Mekk. Crusadia Mekk. Now, I ran this mostly in the Theme Chronicle. I should definitely run this more in Ranked. I have a few replays to show you from the event. But let's jump into the deck list. In terms of budget decks, this is seriously a budget deck. As you can see, I mean, I have the one Girsu UR here. You shouldn't really include the Ash Blossoms or the Imperms, because those are just hand traps that you can fill in with whatever else you want. And then we have Mekk Knight Supreme. I actually would run access code in here too. This is just from the event, so I would take out say one of these level 2s and put in access code. So at least you have another way to go for game. So let's go through. So the basic idea is, if you haven't seen a Crusadia / Mekk Knight deck before, the basic idea is you let the opponent go first, set up their board, you go second with, and I should be running my second droplets too. I just try not to run too much over, like 42, 43, but I think this is okay, and I'll explain the idea of the other traps. Although, you could probably cut this down to 40. But yeah, let's just go with the basic idea. So you let the opponent set up their board. Then if you're lucky enough to get a kaiju, you kaiju their strongest monster. And you put it in front of the extra monster zone, like right on top, so that it matches up with the link arrow for Crusadia Ecomax. That's like the basic, step to taking out the enemy. Then, if you're lucky enough to get a Crusadia monster, you start, link climbing. So you need, link 1, and then you could add a Crusadia just from this Magius link monster, and then you could just start link climbing. Then you add another one. Then you can get into link 2. And then link 2 could add the spell, but from there you need some kind of extension. You either need another Crusadia in your hand or a way to revive the other one, which I will show you in the replays. So if that gets shut down by, say an Imperm or an Ash, you have the other line of play. So if you have a Mekk Knight in your hand, typically you want to start with purple or blue sky. So you just line this up in the column with the opponent's traps or monsters. So that's where these continuous or just regular spells and traps come in. So you just use these to set up your Mekk Knights. So you could set up columns with the enemy cards, and then you could special summon them and start comboing from there, because basically what you want to do is get into Mekk Knight Indigo, because that can move over, which I can show you in the gameplay. And then so if that card moves over, then you can bring another Mekk Knight in, like Red Moon, and destroy one of their cards that's in that same column. And then from there you can either go into Morning Star, which doesn't have like the greatest effect, but they have some strange effects. See, look, if your Mekk Knight monster battles a monster in a different column, your monster cannot be destroyed. So it has interesting effects, but it's not the strongest effects. And then Spectrum Supreme has some really unique effects. So this card can attack directly if it's the only card in the column, which is cool. So if they have some untargetable or can't be destroyed by battle, it doesn't matter for you. And then if this card points to no other monsters, they cannot be destroyed by card effects, Also, your opponent cannot target it with card effects. So this has some pretty decent effects. It's sometimes hard to get into, especially because you're trading all the damage of your big Mekk Knight monsters. Because if you have 3 of these on the board, that's like 6,000 plus damage. So you're trading it for a 3,000 damage Link monster. But it's pros and cons. Sorry about the congestion. But to quickly go to the deck list. So we got the hand traps. I'm running 1, 2, Nibiru's 3, 4, 5. I'm running 5 hand traps. It's kind of low, to be honest. You could probably cut out either a Mekk Knight or a Crusadia monster and start with like 6 hand traps. And like I said, you don't need to run this to 42. You can cut this down to 40 if you cut down like some of these non-essential spells and traps. The essential traps are like the Crusadia Field spell, Crusadia Power, and the Mekk Knight ones are not really, essential to the strategy, but it just helps, right? And then going from there, you got the Crusadia, main deck monsters. So they all kind of have like different effects. So, well, actually, let's start off. They all have the first same effect where you can special summon it to a zone that a Link monster points to. So all of these start that way, you see? So it's an easy way to link climb into the Crusadia Link monsters. So that always helps. And then the second effect is different. So if this card is normal or special to a Link monster, you could target a Crusadia you control and 1 card your opponent controls and destroy them. So this doesn't always help. I just kind of included it to vary the different monsters that I had. But you could probably cut this because how often are you using a Crusadia monster to destroy others? You're typically using it to link climb. So a consideration to cut. Arborea has a decent effect where if a Crusadia monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you could banish it from your field or grave instead. So this has a really nice effect, like a destruction protection for, say, your Ecomax or whatever. Like if you don't OTK them, then you have to go to another turn. This definitely helps to keep you alive. At least you don't have to link climb again. So that's that one. Leonis has piercing damage, which isn't bad, but I included 2 of these. Draco has a decent effect where you can target 1 Crusadia in your grave, add it to your hand. So yeah, you know what? I'll just do it because 3 of these would be better than that. So let's just change that up. This has a really good effect. The Maximus also has a nice effect where you can target a Crusadia Link monster this turn. If it battles, any battle damage inflicts is doubled. The only downside is other monsters can't attack, but if you choose their weakest monster that's in attack mode, that's pretty much game. Then the Mekk Knights, you got Girsu, which is another normal summon. This has some decent effects, but doesn't really apply in this deck because we're not running Orchest or other like World Legacy monsters. So it's just another level 4 normal summon in this deck. Blue Sky is the one that special summon. Adds other Mekk Knights to your hand based on the number of enemy cards in the column. This is a Kaiju. We can talk about Kaijus in a minute. Yellow Star destroys a spell or a trap in the column. Red Moon destroys a monster card in the column. Another Kaiju we can talk about later. Eclipse, as I said, as a quick effect, you could just move it to another zone, which helps, you know, like swarm the field with Mekk Knights. Purple Nightfall, so this one is cool because basically it gives you like follow-up and also like extends your plays. So what you would do is if you have Mekk Knight purple, what you would do is banish this card using its effect and add Indigo Eclipse to your hand. And that way that can special summon, move over, and then you know you could make additional plays from there if you have other Mekk Knights in your hand. Alright, now's a good time to talk about the kaijus. So typically you want the highest level attack kaijus that you have. You know, I'm running Gameciel and Humongous because I have them. But typically you would want like 3 Juzukirus or like 3 Thunder Kings because they all have like 3300 attack. And the reason why is if you put this in the opponent's zone pointing to Crusadia Ecomax, then this card gains that attack, as you'll see in the replay. So it's just really cool. It's a really nice effect, especially the OTK. Nibiru, it's like, you know, never leave home without it, so just include that. Harpies is a staple. So as I said, the Crusadia field spell is essential because it can help you attack all opponent's monsters in case you don't OTK in one hit. This is not really essential. I just kind of included it, you know, for to help my Mekk Knights get on the board. Call by the Grave, I should probably run at 2, but I don't have that crafted yet. Crusadia Power is the other Crusadia card you should include because basically it protects you from hand traps and imperm. So you know, if you're trying to OTK and they have some kind of also battle effects, it could protect you from that. Another card I just kind of threw in, but the only problem with this is it locks you into Mekk Knights, so you got to be careful about actually activating it. It's good to set on the field, but you know, you should only use it after you set up your Crusadia monsters. Droplets, you know, essential to going second strategy. Hand traps and 2 traps that aren't really essential. You know, they're just, you know, related and they just help to set up the field. Alright, so to get into the extra deck, these are kind of extra. I just included them because I had them, and also, you know, it's 2 level 8s, which you have a few of. So if you happen to have these 2 on the board and you want to make something besides a Mekk Knight, you could, you know, suck up some spells with Hope Harbinger or go to Nigirsu and clear their field, which is nice to have some options, but you know, not essential. You could just throw in another Magius or another Regulus, like, you know, it's not necessary. So this is like the Link monster starter. So you start with Magius, you go into Regulus or Spada. So Spada's effect, once per turn, an effect monster is special summon. You can target a monster in either player's main monster zone, move it to another main monster zone. So basically, if you have a bunch of Crusadia monsters in your hand, then Spada is better because then you can kind of swarm the field with more monsters because you can move your own monsters to make room for the other ones, you know, to point to that down arrow that Spada has. But if you only have like enough to do the combo, then Regulus is better because then you can just add the field spell or the, you know, other, what is this called, power, to protect your Crusadia Link monster. So that's like the idea there. We talked about Morningstar, we talked about Spectrum Supreme. Ecomax is like the big bad, you know. So you know, you want to protect him at all costs because he helps you to OTK. His secondary effect doesn't really matter too much because you want monsters to point to him to boost up his attack. And then, you know, these are just extra because I had them. you can include anything Link 4 that you have that would help you OTK. You know, that you want to go into after Mekk. So like, you know, let me just give you some examples. Put them as Link 4s. So the ones that you get for free, where is he? Wow, here he is. So you get this free from solo mode. You could gain attack equal to one of your Link monsters. So you know, this will help you OTK if you can't do it with Mekk. The other ones that I have here, you know, you don't get for free. So you can at least run him and, you know, like another level 3 or another level 2. You know, like XYZs don't really help, you know, in this deck. It's mostly Link monsters, unless you have some level 8s that you can go into. Which there is another free-to-play example of that. Let me just show you. There's Draglubion. So if you so say you wanted to sub out Hope Harbinger or Ningirsu, you can use Draglubion and bring out like any dragon number monsters. So you know, there's a combo with Hearth. Let me see if I can get this to work. So it's not level 8, but it's a dragon, right? There you go. So it is... No. Yes, this one. So if you summon this by the effect of that other XZ, the Draglubion. So it says, cannot be destroyed by battle. When a monster you control inflicts battle damage, you gain life points equal to that. Once per turn, you can detach material, negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. Which is really, really cool. That's really strong. And then you have this other one, where cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent takes any battle damage you have taken with attacks involving this card. So I guess you could go either way. You negate the opponent's monsters. You can detach one XZ material. Banish all cards your opponent currently controls that were normal or special summoned, or set this turn. That's really strong. You know, this is a normal rarity monster. So there you go. Those are the options. Let's jump into the gameplay. Okay, so here we go. I'm going first, which, as you can see, I have plays, but you know it's kind of pointless to go first as Crusadia, and I believe he's playing Crusadia. So this is, you know, the event, the Theme Chronicle event. But you know, there's some decent gameplay here. So actually, yeah, he's playing Little Light. Sorry. So he goes first. Actually, yeah. He goes on second turn, even though Little Lights aren't that strong. I kind of know. I think I was just reading his cards while he was playing to understand what his deck was doing. But you know, Little Lights were not at full power during this event, so you know I had the advantage here. All right, so I drew Maximus. I normal summon Arborea, go into Magius. Then I special summon Maximus from that first effect. You can special summon to a Link Zone. Then I add the field spell, which he negates. So then I go into my Link 2. So, you know, that was one negate. So we could play through at least one negate, right? So this is his second negate. So he had 2 imperm set. I didn't even realize imperm is not once per turn until this duel. Anyway. So I just go straight into Ecomax. But so I should have just left those monsters as is, honestly, because going to Ecomax was a misplay, because I have nothing pointing to it. So the attack isn't boosted. So I mean, there's nothing else to imperm, right? But, you know, so I was kind of stuck. So he gets rid of my Ecomax by attacking twice, because I was able to protect it once with the Arboreal, right? Alright, so next round, I'm not dead yet. So I go into Maximus, I do Magius, and then, you know, I'm able to set up Blue Sky. I don't know if Girsu was the best selection here, but I had no spell cards to set up the field, so I think I was just going to Link Climb with these 2. Yeah. So I Link Climb. I'm able to revive a monster and get the field spell. So we're looking pretty good here. So I didn't realize he had a graveyard effect. So it special summons from the grave. And then I forget what it does. Oh, then he can immediately fusion summon. And this monster is annoying because you can make the attack of all face-up monsters your opponent controls 0. So did I have a way to counter this? I forget. Oh yes. So I finally did the tribute to destroy a monster. And I destroyed that because I negated it because I read what it was doing. And I knew it would screw me up. And I was able to OTK over his, you know, 0 attack monster. So, you know, it helps to read the opponent's cards, right? But I don't know if I got lucky there, but yeah, Lunalights were not at full power. And I was able to play through, you know, his negates, which is always nice in like a rogue tier kind of deck, right? So that's gameplay 1. Alright, so this might be more Mekk Knight based, right? Because I only have Mekk Knights here. Oh yes, this was the Metaphys match. So it seemed like this guy was like a new Metaphys player because he was doing the plays, but I knew about Metaphys from a YouTuber that I was watching, Hardleg. So I knew what they were trying to do. I believe he's trying to banish my field. So they kind of play in the standby phase. You'll see. So he's putting monsters on his board to set up for my turn. And this is actually the strongest monster he has. Like, when your monster is targeted, you can target one of your Metaphys, banish this card, and if you do, special summon and attack. So you can kind of like get interrupted, and then what he could do is he could banish your field with another monster called Daedalus or something like that. I don't know if it's Daedalus. So if this card is special summoned, you can banish all their special summoned monsters. So, you know, it would wipe his field too, but he doesn't care about getting banished because he could always retrieve those cards. So that's very powerful. And you wouldn't expect it from like this decoy dragon, you know, rank 2, 300 attack monster to actually do anything to you. But I knew about that trick, so let's see what I do. Oh, I passed because I had no way to use my monsters. Alright, so he gets another turn to set up. So he had nothing to banish. So he didn't even play this. He just special summoned something else. But you know, I'm not dead yet. I was just waiting. So I got a kaiju. So I knew to kaiju that other monster. That monster we were just talking about, right? Because that's the threat, not these two. Right? So now I'm able to set up for Mekk Knight plays. He immediately goes to the Maxi, of course. Because, well, you know, why wouldn't you run Maxi? I'm the only one who doesn't. So I don't care. I just take the Maxi challenge, right? I want to play. So, and anyway, I'd probably get OTK next turn. So here we go. So I go for Blue Sky. I bring in Girsu because everything else needs to be special summoned. I bring in another Indigo, which I don't know if it was the best play, but let's see. So I normal him. I go into Morning Star. I bring in a trap. So I'm able. Okay, so it's not bad. My plays aren't bad, right? So then I pop my Kaiju, and then I think I have a decent board here. You know. Take that monster out. Take that monster out. Okay, so I banished that because I want follow-up next turn, because I know, like, look at this guy's hand, like, you know, I don't OTK him, so he definitely has follow-up plays. So I have purple for next turn. So he gets the card that he used sarcophagus for. This guy, of course, has another Maxi, so he gets another card. He reduces my monsters. I don't know what Crossbreed does, but he brings back my Kaiju. But I think he realizes. Yeah, why doesn't he attack? Yeah, so if your Mekk Knight battles a monster in a different column, it cannot be destroyed by a battle. Also, you take no battle damage. So I guess he read that, but I think he could have destroyed my Morningstar monster because these are in the same column. And he actually set me up for more plays. I don't know. He made a mistake. Anyway. Maybe he couldn't target like these other monsters and he thought he couldn't do anything, but anyway. Or maybe he was setting up for the next turn. That's probably what it was. Anyway, he set the Macrocosmos. Daedalus banishes everything. Okay, I guess that's what it was. He didn't really care. But he can't attack me anyway. I guess he forgot that this got banished. And I was able to special this in because I wanted to get rid of Macrocosmos. Alright, I bring in Blue Sky. I normal Maximus. And then, you know, I knew, like I said, that little card, that decoy dragon, is the problem. So I went into Underworld Goddess because I didn't want to mess around with another Daedalus. And another Mekk Knight purple. So, you know, this guy isn't dead yet. So I don't even know what this does. Discard a Metaphys, draw one, and then you can banish from your deck. And he brings back his Macrocosmos. This is once your turn, banish and draw. And this is if I special summon, you can target and special summon. Oh, then he's able to banish one of my cards. I don't know why he didn't banish Underworld Goddess. He was more afraid of... Or did I do that myself? We'll see. Anyway. I bring in Mekk Knight Blue Sky. So I survived there. I can't even go backwards because Underworld Goddess negates. Jeez, Underworld Goddess negates the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent controls. So he brought back Daedalus, thinking he could wipe my field again, but Underworld Goddess automatically negates his effects. So I was good to go. So there. Two gameplays during in Theme Chronicle for Crusadia Mekk Knight. Definitely an underrated, you know, deck, budget deck you can play in ranked. I should definitely play it more. So if you're looking for more free-to-play budget guides, you know, I'm gonna be bringing more. And the next one will definitely be Pendulum Magicians because that deck is awesome. So I'll be showing you that next. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.